What's going on out there, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and of course we are bringing it back, the show that started it all. Well, actually that was Retail Rents that started it all, where I complained about my job on a weekly basis.
Something you ain't got.
But then quickly transformed into the Rage and Ink show because, yes, as you all know, I am covered in ink. And I usually have a lot of rage. Recently, things within the wrestling community have pissed me off to the point of, yes, I definitely need to bring this platform back. Because there were far too many fucking casuals out there who can't take an opinion. And as you can see on camera here, we have the fabulous Foulmouth Bobbit with us as usual.
Hello.
And we do still have Trek and Johnny on the call with us, but they had to step away for a moment, so when they come back, we'll be able to introduce them more fully. So, with that being said, hey, exactly, D. Wells, you remember the original form of this show. What it comes down to is, it's not just the wrestling community in and of itself. It's these people that decide to jump in the conversations. Well, it's all fake. So the fucking movies, you fucking idiot. But yet you have no problem paying $20 to go to a fucking movie theater, sit your fucking ass down for 2.5 hours and watch that shit.
Well, fuck. New York's coming out.
So don't sit there and tell me I shouldn't be watching a form of entertainment just because it's fake. But you also have to remember one other thing. Those actors, they have stunt doubles. So they're the ones that get hurt, not the actors. The wrestlers, they don't have stunt doubles.
Let me hit you in the head with the chair and see if it's fake.
Or get slammed onto 1,000 fucking thumbtacks.
Yeah, let's see if that's fucking fake. Let me place my balls on your chin. We'll see if that's fake.
So,
Not.
it's just...
Sorry, not sorry.
Exactly. Honestly, folks, yes, we're fucking grown-ass adults. We know what the fuck is going on. We know it's scripted, most of it, but they're still putting their bodies on the line. Most recent example, Tegan Knox for the Mae Young Classic. She broke her fucking leg.
Okay, I understand.
She broke her leg in the fucking ring. That's a fake injury, though, I suppose, for some of you. Now, there's also the fact of, you mentioned a certain wrestler in particular.
Roman Reigns!
And then all of a sudden, everybody just goes raging, mad, stark, crazy. It's just one of those things of, if you don't like Roman Reigns, you don't deserve to be breathing the same air as them on this fucking planet. Honey, no. Sit your fucking ass down. It's not that important. Exactly, Ronnie. Exactly like ants coming out of the fucking woodwork. It's just, I mean, really? Yes, the guy is great in ring. Cannot speak a fucking word to save his goddamn life.
His favorite word is bitch.
But yet, you Roman Reigns fans, when somebody sits there and says, yes, he's a great wrestler, he cannot talk, though. Oh, you fucking hate him. You don't deserve to be watching the product. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Hey, Bobbit.
Yes, JP.
My Packers are fucking kicking the shit out of the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
Okay. You want a cookie?
Yes. I don't like cookies. They're fake.
You want a cookie? Here's your cookie. But it's also come down to the point of, if you have any opinion about anything within the wrestling world, our friend Weiss,
don't even just say the wrestling world. It's just anything.
I'm actually going to stick within the wrestling because our friend Weiss Society here got blocked by somebody because of his opinions on NXT and SummerSlam. Meanwhile, I talked to this person and there's no answer.
Because he doesn't have one.
And JP was blocked by the same guy.
I didn't even say anything to him. Because he knew I'd probably say something, but whatever.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to talk about that in a little hot minute, Weiss Society. Don't worry.
Yes, that is definitely one of the topics that's going to be brought up this evening.
I'm going to talk... Here's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about NXT and how fucking marks or smart people or smart fans or indie darlings or indie marks or whatever the fuck you want to call them fucking people want to sit here and say that NXT is 10 times better than fucking SummerSlam. Alright, well, I'm going to fucking start rating it the same. I'm not giving it a fucking pass. Because they're doing the exact same fucking thing that they're doing in NXT that they're doing in the fucking main roster. And if you can't see it, you have blinders on. Is the wrestling good? Yes. Is the wrestling good in WWE? Yes, if they let them wrestle. What they're allowed to do, are they good at what they're doing? Yes. So don't fucking give me that fucking bullshit. You can't come at me with the wrestling's better, because it's not. Go ahead. Sorry.
But again, I tweeted to this guy, and he's had no answer for me. So that again tells me, one, you know you made a fucking mistake and you don't have the balls to rectify it. And two, you have no fucking clue what the fuck you're talking about either. So why don't you shut the fuck up? Is it just Weiss Society or is it everybody on the stream that cannot hear anything now?
Hang on. Let me see. I'm back here.
Okay.
Not good.
Alright, so Wise Society, you might
No, I figure just fine.
So Wise Society, you may have to exit out of the stream and come back in, and maybe your end. Thank you, everybody. There's also something else that's been bugging the crap out of me, and it has not happened within our little circle of friends within this community. But it has happened with other areas that I've gone in and put my 2 cents in. This whole thing of, oh, you have a pair of tits compared to my dick, you don't know nothing about wrestling. Honey, I have been watching wrestling since I was 4 fucking years old. You're what, 18? Sit the fuck down. I've forgotten more about wrestling than what you have ever known about wrestling. So again, sit the fuck down, know your fucking place, and realize with an attitude like that, you're never going to get laid ever in your fucking life.
Oh no.
Just saying.
Jesus Christ. Scared the shit out of me.
See, and this is why I haven't had much rage to deal with, because this wonderful man right here. But again, wrestling community passions run high, so things are going to get exactly, Ronnie. But that's the whole idea of this show, Lion, is to get hot and let out all the rage that you've had, hence the name Raging Inc.
That's what we're doing. It's alright, man. She's just it's
venting.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to do that.
And especially when you're only given so many fucking characters on Twitter that you can't get everything out all in one tweet.
Yep.
And you have people that sit there and spy through the thread and only catch one tweet. So it's just like, really? Really? But then we move on to, again, as JP had mentioned, the people who sit there and compare the developmental grounds to the main roster. Now, before I let him go on his rant, here's my rant about that. Yes, NXT does put on a good show. Is it always better than the main roster? Typically, yes. However, sometimes they do fall short. Like they did with TakeOver Brooklyn this year. The matches were good. The stories were not told properly.
Oh, you're fine.
So it fell short. And we are not the only ones who say that. Are we saying it was a bad show? No. It had some high points to it that were very good. But when you put on a match like Ciampa and Gargano for the 4th time in a row, and I'm watching the exact same fucking spots every fucking time, from the ring mats being torn up, to the floor mats being torn up, to the handcuffs, to the crutches, to the false finishes, to all of this being exactly the fucking same, at exactly the same point in the exact match, I might as well just go back and watch 2 weeks of NXT.
I might as well go back and watch NXT TakeOver Chicago. Because that's all that match was. That same fucking ending, except for... Are you done?
Almost.
Okay, I'll wait. Because I'm pissed. I watched NXT last night. I'm pretty pissed. Go ahead.
But then you have people out there glorifying this. Okay, that's fine. But you gotta remember, these are the training grounds. So you're gonna accept mediocrity out of them now. In the training grounds. Really? Because that's what it was. It was mediocre. It was not spectacular. And again, yes, this is developmental grounds, it should get a pass. No. When you want to sit there and grade this higher when they're doing exactly the same thing the main roster is doing, Just because it's NXT, with the names involved, that's where you are failing the product as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. So again, if you're going to accept mediocrity out of them now, this is why, when they get to the main roster, they will not be fucking used. So now, onto your rant with this.
Alright, so I didn't get to watch NXT last night. So I sat down, I got up, I don't even remember what time I got up, 9 o'clock. We got home really late. I had to take my daughter to the hospital because she was losing her shit. And I was pretty much right. I was right. She was all freaking worried. She's going to be giving birth here soon. But she was losing her shit. So I took her to the hospital, and we didn't get home till midnight, or close to midnight. And we just went to bed. I mean, I was dog-ass tired. So I got up this morning and watched NXT. I will say this right fucking now. They have literally fucking ruined the Gargano Ciampa. What is there to tell? Are they moving on from this? Or are they... If they come back to the fucking Gargano Ciampa thing, they've just fucking ruined NXT. Because it's the same fucking thing that fucking main roster does. You mean to tell me... Because when Triple H comes out and says he's legitimately hurt, what does legitimate mean to you? That means it's real. It's not fake. It's not a work. It's a shoot. The difference between work and shoot is work is real, shoot is fake. Or no, I said that back. Work is fake, shoot is real. Sorry. So, I'm sitting here watching NXT. Gargano comes out on a crutch. William Regal comes out, confronts fucking Gargano, says, "Did you hurt Aleister Black?" And Gargano's sitting there cutting a fucking promo and shit. Out comes Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream starts talking about Gargano and all this and all that, whatever the fuck they were talking. I stopped paying attention because I knew it was coming. Next fucking week, Gargano and Velveteen Dream are having a match. Anybody that thinks this is fucking great storytelling, it's the same fucking thing that they do on the main roster. They ruin one feud just to fucking try and start another one. Main roster does it all the time.
Now my question
does not make any fucking sense to me how they come out and say that the guy is legitimately hurt, and then the next minute they come out and say, well, he can wrestle next week. How legitimately hurt is he? They said he was going to be out for a while, I think. Did they not, Bobbit? Or did they not tell us how long he was going to be out for?
They never really said.
Okay. But the point is, they should have ended NXT TakeOver Brooklyn the way that I said, because they could go back to that feud if they needed to. They can move on to the Velveteen Dream feud with him and Gargano. It's fine. But when you sit there and fucking end a match the way you fucking do and destroy that feud is over. If I see fucking Gargano and Ciampa wrestling again, I'm literally never gonna watch NXT again. Because they have ruined probably one of the best feuds that WWE has seen in a long time. They were doing it right. And then they end the match. They said it was a quick fix to the end of the match.
Because of an injury.
Because of an injury. Well, if it comes out that he's going to be okay, why in the fuck would you change the finish to a match? Take that chance. If you would have done what I said, it would have been okay. Ciampa ain't losing the title. A double count out is okay. And the reason that they probably fucking did it is that fucking Shinsuke and AJ did it already. I don't give a fucking shit about Shinsuke and AJ. This is NXT. This isn't the fucking main roster. They're going to go off what the main roster does, then every match that fucking NXT has should be fucking null and void in the first place. Because they rehash shit just like the fucking main roster does. Don't give me that fucking shit that the fucking NXT is that much better than the main roster. Because it's not. The wrestling is really good. Main roster wrestling is usually pretty good. Roman Reigns can wrestle, people. You sit there and shit on him, but the guy can wrestle. His problem is he is complacent. He doesn't have to get any better because WWE is pushing him to the moon. Well, he's already there. He doesn't need to get pushed to the moon. He's already there. So that's what I'm pissed off about. If they want to sit there and say come back to the Gargano Championship, they better have a goddamn good reason why to come back to it. Ciampa better come out and do something to fucking Gargano. Because I am not vested in their fucking feud right now. At all. It's the only way that I'd be vested in the feud. Now, I know Heather just had a question. What's your question? No, wrong answer. I'm just kidding.
No. With them, because even Lion in the chat here, Velveteen Dream is not ready for Johnny Gargano.
Velveteen Dream...
Simply put, he is still young enough that you could actually take him off TV for a little while. Get some of these older guys out there to do the work so that they can be called up. Because EC3, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, guys like that, even Johnny Gargano and Ciampa himself, they're not that young anymore. They don't have much longer of a wrestling career. So if you want to keep them down in NXT for over a year, you've essentially wasted their time. Especially when you have talents like Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, EC3, Ricochet. All main roster ready when you acquired them. However, you decided to put them in NXT. And there's also Keith Lee. But you want to keep them all down in NXT for a while. I understand it's probably to teach them WWE's formula compared to ROH's formula or TNA's formula. But they were main roster ready. And AJ Styles is a good example of that. Because he never went to NXT. He debuted at the Royal Rumble and was off with fucking lightning.
I will say this though. I know that AJ Styles has said that he would have preferred, if he used to do it over again, he would go to NXT. But you look at AJ Styles, and he's been all over the world.
Yeah.
And Shinsuke Nakamura, I mean, his promo abilities, they didn't really work on. They really don't do promos over in New Japan like they do over here. So he could have fucking very easily given him a fucking mouthpiece.
Paul Heyman.
I don't know about that. His face, no. Because
they could have had him be healed to start off with, giving him Paul Heyman.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. But it's hard for me to say. I'm just so sick and fucking tired of the fucking so-called NXT fans sitting there. And another thing that drives me absolutely fucking bonkers with fucking these fucking, and I'm gonna say his fucking name, Matt the fucking Misfit. You fucking ain't right. I said your fucking name. Keep my, yeah, you son of a bitch. Sitting there thinking you know everything? Like, you don't know shit, son. You know shit. And here, for him to lie to Heather and say that he's never talked to me, bullshit. I got a fucking bunch of DMs from him. So don't fucking feed me that line of bullshit.
I mean, hell, this is a guy that used to sit there and DM me, hey, sexy mistress, all the fucking time. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he found out about my wrestling point of views, things all of a sudden change.
You want to sit there and talk about how... They sit there and talk about how NXT is a much better product. And I'm like, okay, you're right, but what makes it that much better than the main roster? Well, I don't even watch Raw and SmackDown. What the fuck are you talking about?
And that's the other thing I want to complain about here. People that don't watch the main roster only watch the pay-per-views, but then sit there and say that, have that opinion about the entire product. You only watch the pay-per-view. You don't know the entire story up to that point. You just know what they show you in the highlights. And that's it. So how do you have a point of view on anything?
Right.
And to continue on with this NXT thing, yes, some of them do ask to go to NXT first. However, what I'm talking about is you don't want to keep them there over a year. Oh, excuse me. You don't want to do that. Because with them being experienced, working with the non-experienced, heightens their risk for injury because of the inexperience not knowing how to properly work the ring. And in doing that, you also shorten their careers. So
it's all about the goddamn commies.
Well, we know Johnny's back. But when you sit there and you have these older guys and you put them to the side so that the younger guys like Velveteen Dream can come up and do some work. Yeah, fine. Rotate them on and off the TV, though. That's fine. However, don't sit there and put these younger guys up against these guys that you're going to be trying to call up within a year. Because then that just ruins their reputation. And it ruins all the work that you tried to do with these guys that are more experienced and are older and have done this before. Especially with TakeOver Brooklyn having Velveteen Dream beat EC3. Because now it's, okay, what the fuck is going on?
They're moving, I think, and I watched it this morning, they're moving on from EC3. They're going to put EC3 in a feud with Lars Sullivan. And then Lars Sullivan, were you out here then when he did that? Oh, Lars Sullivan came out, beat the shit out of some nobody and said that it was me that beat up EC3. Which is, in a sense, telling me that he's the one that fucking beat up Aleister Black. So they're fucking up this storyline now too. If they're trying to swerve us, that's fine, but I still think it was Matt Riddle.
What are you talking about, Lionheart? EC3 can talk on the mic, he can wrestle in the ring, and he's got the Vince cut body.
EC3 is one of the great performers both inside and outside of the ring. You need to watch him, man. I don't know what you're watching and why he puts you to sleep. What makes you I don't get it. If he puts you to sleep, then Velveteen Dream should put you to sleep. Because Velveteen Dream puts me to fucking sleep. Just saying.
But again, these guys, they're not that young. I mean, EC3 is what, 34, 35?
He shouldn't be in NXT. And he's in NXT just because I think it's just to get him used to the WWE thing again, and then they're going to bring him right the fuck up to the main roster. But let him have his fucking run with something. Let him do something. They shouldn't have fucking beat him with Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream did not need to win that match.
The difference with Cassius Ohno, their White Society, is he does not want to be called up. He knows his career is almost over, so he wants to stay down in developmental to help those talents.
Yes. He's gonna end up being one of those. He's gonna end up being what's his name? The guy that he helps develop talent down in NXT. What's his name? He was Prince Albert down in fucking.
Oh yes. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jason Albert.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's who he is going to.
Once he's retired from wrestling, that's what he's going to be doing. So
he's a great worker inside of the ring. I like Cassius Ohno.
He's a great personality both inside and outside of the ring, and he knows the business. So.
I agree with you, Wise Society. They should have debuted, but then again, WWE doesn't want to do that stuff.
And you were right with the second one there, Lionheart. He was also known as Tensai.
So, I'm done raging with what I've had to rage about. I'm just sick and tired of the fucking NXT mark sitting there telling me that the NXT is better than fucking the main roster when they don't even watch the main roster. Don't at me if you don't watch the main roster, because there is some stuff on that main roster that is so much better than NXT, and you're missing the point. Like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe is better than anything NXT is doing right now.
It's downright gold right now. It's really good.
And Why Society, actually, if you look at it based on storyline alone, Lars Sullivan had an injury of a broken jaw. Done by who?
Aleister Black.
There we go.
I mean, it's
so that makes sense.
All things lead to Lars Sullivan, but I would not put it by WWE to swerve or them to swerve and say it was a Cassius Ohno. But again, Cassius Ohno's not getting called up, so I don't know why he would
be in a feud with Aleister Black.
Yeah. But it could be. I don't know. We will see. But he was knocked out, and that's a really key point right there.
Yes.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not doubting you're right, Wise Society, but right now all fingers are pointing to Lars Sullivan who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, would you actually? Why in the fuck did you?
I was gonna say,
show, man?
you're taking over my show.
No.
What?
Do you have? If there's anything within just wrestling community that you want to rant about?
Or anything wrestling.
Yeah.
Anything, man. Don't be scared.
I think the only thing that really, like, in all honesty, everything that I've always had an issue with, it's pretty much already out there on what, my issues with the wrestling community are. And in fact, we spoke a lot about it last Friday. The only thing I have to rage about has nothing to do with wrestling.
Oh, go ahead. We're here anyway.
Okay, so nothing's official, but I did start talking to a girl this week, and it's a little bit weird because she's 10 years younger than me.
Well, I'm 10 years younger than JP.
Really?
Actually, a little more than that.
You're 13.
So, let me explain this scenario. So, we called her, we started calling each other on the phone, and the thing is, she's got a roommate. And what she likes to do, she likes to have a conversation with the person she's on the phone with and the fucking person and her fucking roommate.
No.
And so I can't ever fucking tell who she's talking to. So today was my final straw because I was like, okay, you know what? Until you actually want to talk to me and not have me fucking confused and leave me hanging for fucking 5 minutes, then you call me. And I hung up the phone. well, apparently I did something so wrong that I hung up on her. I'm like, no, you're being fucking rude. I'm not going to sit there and talk to you. And I'm like, you know, there is like so much stuff that I've seen on Twitter this week and shit that going on, and you know, just in my real life scenario, that I'm just like, I am so tired of fucking idiots.
We all are.
Agreed.
Like, no, I wasn't talking about you, Ronnie. No, but like, okay, like for example, like this whole thing, you guys know about the Jacksonville shooting, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
About the gaming convention, and then people are trying to make it like a, like I kind of alluded at Wrestling Memories, is the, that the video game caused violence, or and the gun issue again. I'm just like, good fucking God Almighty! I saw somebody on Twitter sit there and literally post, well, what about all these men causing violence? And Heather, no offense, because you're
my
sitting.
opinion on women like that, so go for it.
You're sissy, but it's I am legitimately shocked why there is not more men just like sitting there going, fuck this shit. It's like, ugh. And Mega, you leave Regina alone. Tell you that right now. You leave her alone.
To touch even further on that with that fucking... People are sick. It was a football game. People. What violence is there with football?
Right. If that's the case, and like I watched a couple of YouTube videos talking about this subject, this very scenario. It's like, it's a competitive sport, and they were doing competitiveness.
It was a tournament.
So if competitive and gaming is causing people violence, then why are people not calling for the banning of sports?
Who knows?
It doesn't make any bit of fucking sense to me.
I agree.
What it comes down to is, there is no one major issue to fix here. That's why it's taking so fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
Because on top of the gun issue, we have the Second Amendment right protecting legally abiding citizens that own guns. But it's not that. It's the illegal guns that are causing more of the fucking problems.
Right, and I always tell people, it's like, taking away guns from law-abiding citizens is not going to solve the issue.
It's not, because there's still going to be the fucking gang members out there that got their hands on an illegal gun that's not registered, that's been stolen, and it's had its serial numbers acided off, so you're not going to be able to trace it.
Well, a good example of what would happen if you did take all guns would be England. Okay?
Yeah.
England has some of the strictest gun laws. It has some very strict gun laws.
Uh-huh.
And what's happened, though, is your knifings are at an all-time high, bombings are more frequent, and people use vehicles now. We saw that in the attack on Paris.
Exactly.
So what are you going to do? The next thing, you're going to be coming after my butter knife?
I've said this many fucking times. I don't know how many fucking times I've said this.
I saw the soda can in half. I have a fucking deadly weapon.
She could seriously hurt me with the fucking can itself the way it is now. It's not the point.
She's fucking Reddick. I'm going to kill you with my teacup.
Exactly.
Look. I've said this before. The AR-15, which is a modified a version of the M4, which is a military rifle. Okay? Anybody that thinks that that can't be modified into an M4. Now, the AR-15 is not in factory stock is not an M4.
Is it like the 22?
No. What makes an AR-15 separate from an M4? I asked this question in one of my streams. I think
one of them, yeah. I don't remember which one.
And nobody could answer it. Here's the difference. The AR-15 has two settings. Semi-automatic, but semi-automatic can be clipped.
Yes.
All it has to do is all it does is resets itself.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make it automatic where you hold the trigger down and it continues to shoot. Semi-automatic means you have to release the trigger and then pull the trigger again. Okay? What makes it different is the M4, which is the same thing as an AR-15, is that it has a third selector switch. That selector switch is burst. It shoots 3 continuous rounds on one trigger squeeze.
Mm-hmm. And
the only thing that's different is, I can't remember what it is. I talked to a friend, he said it's the bolt action in it, and there's a little pin or something to that effect that you take out or something like that, and it can cause that to just continuously shoot.
Well, and like, you know, the one thing I hear a lot, like the argument that I hear a lot of is, well, we should ban semi-automatic rifles. Well, technically a lever action shotgun is a semi-automatic.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Now me being the person I am, yes, I am in agreement that military grade weapons should not be in the hands of civilians, but it's the American way. They're going to get their hands on it.
You can't have a military grade weapon. A military grade weapon is what I've stated. They're different. They're not the same thing, Heather.
Well, like, you know, like, I think I'm a good example. I don't even own a gun.
Me neither.
I don't, and I don't want to own a gun. You know, but that's my own personal choice.
Right.
And I don't feel that, you know, for me personally, and I hate that, you know, I'm sorry that we're getting off into this kind of shit.
No.
But this has been my whole thing with a lot of the shit that we've been seeing a lot on Twitter and a lot of the arguments that you see going around, is that the question I always pose to people, and the thing that I always tell people, it's either all okay or none of it's okay. And that's realistically how it has. That's realistically the only way that you can do it.
Unfortunately, yes.
You know, either, like, especially when it comes to the whole free speech. Well, if you are truly an advocate for free speech, then you have to accept the fact that you're going to hear stuff that you don't like.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you know, the thing is, people misconstrue that hate speech it incites violence by your words. No, what hate speech was judicially defined as the incite of violence. You can't go into a building and scream fire to cause a panic.
Right.
But people want to say, well, words hurt, you know, feelings matter, you know, and my thing is that, you know, this is the one thing that I've seen is people like free speech when it suits them.
Right.
And they don't but if it doesn't suit their ideological preference, which, to be fair, and I always throw this olive branch out, the right is just as guilty of it as the left.
Of course.
Just the left is doing it more atrociously right now. They have more examples of blatant misuse of it. And the thing is that until you get to the point that it shouldn't matter. Like, you know, I understand that there's some things that are just not really nice to say. And yeah, you know, there's some things that we should try to be mindful and respectful of other people. But if I offend you by anything I say,
it's not my fault.
It's not my fault. Offense is a choice. You can choose to be offended.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Johnny.
Yes.
You don't need to go because you have a vicious attack dog.
I know, right? Oh my God. I took her with me to go to McDonald's and she about had a fucking conniption fit. Because she was trying to get to the food. I'm like, no, you can't have any of this. Because I don't like, you know, some people, like my mom is, she's always getting on to me about this, but like, because she's like, oh, you need to let her have, like, you know, a little bit of the, like, stuff you eat. And I'm like, no, you know, no. You know, I don't want her to get used to that because, you know, I want her to eat her food.
Right. Yeah, and you don't want her to get too fat either.
No, and like my thing is like, you know, if I'm having like a steak or you know, a chicken or something like that, yeah, I'll break off a little piece and let her have it.
Right.
But just in small doses. I don't want that to be her main meal.
No, of course not. No. To get back on topic here a little bit.
See you later, Ryan.
When it comes down to this whole situation, if you take away the legal guns, you still have the illegal guns to deal with. So that's problem number 2 you have to take care of. And now, what are you going to do also? Because some of these shootings ended up with suicide by proxy because of being killed by the police. Or them killing themselves before the police got to them. So that's a mental health issue.
Don't get me fucking started on this.
Which that's something else that does need to be fixed within the government. The mental health.
And
the government can't fix. God damn.
Okay, all right.
Just to make a point here, with the administration of Obamacare, every person is required to have health insurance or be fined up to $2,000 of their taxes.
Yeah.
If they don't have that health insurance.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have that health insurance because you can't afford it, but you make too much to go through your state health insurance,
Yes.
and you have a mental health disorder, but you cannot now you cannot get your medication.
They can't deny you treatment.
And
Or anything. If you go to a hospital and say, I want to hurt myself, that's a mental health issue. If they deny you health care, they're wrong.
But a lot of times with cases like that, they don't bother going to the hospital.
Oh, well, then that's their fault.
And
I hate to say it, but it is.
okay. Lionheart.
Oh boy.
I hope, if you're not really gone, I hope you're fucking listening. Because you've been wanting fucking attention all goddamn night, you fucking attention whore. So guess what? Now you're gonna fucking get it from me. Alright? You want the fucking attention. If you don't like what the fuck we're talking about, go fucking somewhere else. Because I'm sick and tired of people like you coming into the fucking chat and getting all pissed off because you're not the fucking center of attention. Let me tell you something, you liberal fucking tard. Or I don't give two fucking shits if you don't like what I have to say. Go fucking cry a fucking river and fucking pop rocks.
Why society? I'm going to give you a prime example. Sandy Hook. He didn't own the gun. His mother did.
His mother gave him money to go buy the guns. And he had mental health issues.
He was schizophrenic. And a lot of schizophrenic people refuse medication.
Because they feel that there's nothing wrong with them.
Don't... You don't pick on my co-host like that. It's plain and simple.
Oh no! Hey, Lionheart, the way you're acting right now, you sound like a fucking pussy ass liberal. So, I tell you what. How about this? You want to talk so much shit? Why don't you grow a fucking set of balls and actually call in the show and actually say some shit to me on the call? Because let me tell you something, you little pissant. I've dealt with little fuckheads like you plenty of times before.
And to clarify even further why society, you're not allowed to own a gun when you have mental health issues.
You're not supposed to.
Not supposed to. Somehow they keep fucking getting it.
Sometimes, yes. But in cases like that one military-based shooting, he was cleared by background checks. Later, to come to find out, he had health issues with his brain. So that's another issue to be fixed. And that is more, yes, it's something the government should look into because of these health insurance companies that are raising the prices of all their medicines for no fucking reason. A lot of these medicines are out there to help keep people alive.
This is true.
I mean, my mother was with insurance. Her co-payment for just 3 of her medications that helped her breathe. That's right, people. To help her breathe, to stay the fuck alive. The co-payment for just 3 of them combined was almost $800 a month. And that was just 3 of the 6 medications she had to take. My dad, he's on 2 medications. One of them, the co-payment is $200 for. Most recently heard in the news, the creator of the body for the EpiPen raised the price of that to the point that the medication had to be raised to the point of nearly $1,000.
Right?
For an EpiPen! These insurance companies need to be reminded of the fact that they're there to fucking help people, not make money for their CEOs.
Well, it's not and yes, you are right, but it's not the insurance companies that are raising the prices. It's the pharmaceuticals that are raising the prices. Because, and people are going to sit here and, oh, this guy's a fucking Donald Trump lover. Well, guess what? I am. Donald Trump's, that's why we need regulations on fucking pharmaceuticals. We didn't have regulations on pharmaceuticals.
And Regina, technically, because of the HIPAA laws, they're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, they can't. I have to take HIPAA.
You know, like, yeah, I've heard this argument, and I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. Is, you know, I've heard of gun owners, because the mental health issue is a prevailing issue, that there have been gun owners that will say, hey, I will go through a psych exam if that's what it takes.
Right.
It's, you know, like once every 5 years or however long. And I think that's a reasonable compromise.
See, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying with HIPAA laws as they are right now today, that's an illegal move.
Right.
Dan, it's not, the insurance companies are not greedy. Obamacare forced insurance companies to raise their premiums. They have no choice. And then all of a sudden, people are like, how come my premiums are going up? They said they weren't supposed to. Well, there was an earmark put in the fucking Obamacare law. Here's the thing. Nancy Pelosi, and I'm getting fucking political, I'm getting fucking annoyed already. Nancy fucking Pelosi, hold on, let me finish my point with this insurance thing. Nancy Pelosi said something one time. She said, in order to understand what's in Obamacare, you have to pass the law first. What kind of fucking shit is that? And these are our politicians that are in office today. But yet it's okay for them to sit there and talk shit about Donald Trump. Give me a fucking break.
You know, speaking of that, I saw on Twitter today that all of Trump's threatening violence against the left, and he was saying it to evangelicals. Well, number one, that isn't what he fucking said. And number two, the retaliation has already started.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what people are not understanding is that the left has been already being violent for over a year now.
Over. They were violent. They've been violent longer than that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's gotten bad with the current state of events.
Yes.
It's gotten real bad in the past year or two.
Yes. That's true.
And now what they can't fucking understand is why people on the right, or not even the right, like myself, I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Republican. I'm a libertarian.
Right.
In fact, I would probably consider myself more of a centrist.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there going, anybody that's, people like me are considered part of the problem. And I'm like, no wonder you guys are starting to get the shit kicked out of you. You done pissed off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Right.
A bunch of the wrong people, too.
It is true.
I mean, you have these stick figures of hipsters out there sitting there protesting everything, and then all of a sudden you got people like me that fucking actually have a brain and know how to fucking use it. It's just ridiculous. And we're all calling out for this massive change to happen over fucking night. It's not going to, because there are so many different things that need to change in the first place.
You can't repeal a law that's already been placed in the amendment. It's already placed in the amendment. It's stuck. They repealed an amendment, or I can't remember. It's a law now, so you can't change it. You can change the law or add to the law to say put restrictions on said law, but you can't repeal something that's already a law.
Right. And not only that, we have to change the way society in and of itself thinks in order to start changing everything else as well. Which you're never going to have that happen until you get people that actually see both sides of the argument and understand both sides of the argument.
And that's never going to happen.
Well, we talk this a lot. We actually talk about this kind of stuff in our wrestling shows a lot.
Yes.
Culture dictates what goes on in the wrestling ring. Well, culture also dictates what happens in everyday life.
Exactly.
And what's happened is we're on this constant pendulum swing. And that's what's going on, is that what I see happening is that they're trying to stop the pendulum from moving, and they're pulling back hard, and what it's doing is it's creating a lot of resistance.
It is, and it's just going to create an even bigger swing back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys,
Yes.
I'm gonna go watch a movie. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Alrighty,
All right,
have a great night.
talk to you later about it.
Hey, Bob.
Alright, night.
But a lot of this is not going to change until we get a lot of the dinosaurs out of Congress as well, like Nancy Pelosi. Which, frankly, I would not mind if she were one of the first politicians within this century that got taken out by a firing squad. Just saying.
Whoa, that's a little bit extreme.
She is a woman that sits there, her and her little friends having a little grandstand motion of sitting in Congress, having a filibuster, surrounded by guns, for an anti-gun meeting. How fucking contradictory can you fucking get with that shit?
You know what? To speak to JP's point, him saying that's a little extreme, it is, but I think actually we're at the point now for the first time that is not out of the realm of possibility.
What I said about Nancy Pelosi. With how things are going, yes, it could happen. However, it's just me talking.
Yeah, no, I fully understand, and that, but like I said, it's already starting to happen. You're starting to see, what was it? I was watching a video the other day. It was a group called the Proud Boys,
right?
And they have started retaliating against like groups like Antifa,
right?
And I just sit there kind of like, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Well, why society that is an extremely different thing to be. See, here's my stance on abortion. Should the government be involved in it, and at the point of saying no, you're not allowed to do that? No. Absolutely not. Just like me right now. I am 6 months pregnant. But if this baby started to kill me and make me sick, there would be an abortion would be the option to save my life.
Not my body. I have no choice.
And it's not like I'm so old we can try again.
Well, now, okay, I actually do need to say something about that.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I get it, and I understand where JP's coming from. But, and this is getting into something that happened in my past.
Right.
But it wasn't my choice. It may not be not my body, but I helped make that.
And I understand. Well, no, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying the only thing that I would suggest, the only thing that I would hope that she wouldn't just go and do it.
No, that I would not. I would sit down and have a talk with him about it first.
I'm the same boat she is anyway.
Right,
and I should have clarified.
No, like with me, I would have, like, if she would have came to me about it,
right?
We could at least talked it out. I didn't get to have my opinion, and I get into arguments with people all the time about that. Is that no, there are some guys out there, believe it or not, there are some guys out there that are good, decent men. They're actually stand-up men out there.
Right. Absolutely.
And to say that we don't have a say-so in something that we help create, no, we are fully well aware that we don't carry that child. But we did help make it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the only way I would go for it is if this child was making me sick to the point that it could kill me. And that's the only way that would become an option.
But then the option would be, would it kill you if you did natural childbirth? Is there a way that we could do it where she could have C-section? If that was an option, she probably would say... Because, they ain't just going to say, well, the baby's killing you. We're going to have to
abort the fetus, yeah.
But
especially at this point that he is so far along.
Well, and I know this is going to sound really douchey of me to say, But how I feel about that whole scenario is if a guy doesn't have a say so in whether or not a woman should have an abortion, then men should not be expected to pay child support.
Agreed.
Well, I also have to bring up this point to you, Johnny, which I understand your side of it, absolutely 100%. With a situation like that, yes, there should be a conversation. But when it's under the premise of rape within a relationship.
No. Now, the one thing I do say is that the only time that I'm okay with it is in the instance of, like you guys were talking about, if it came down the choice between the mother or the child, one of you was going to live. Like if one of you was going to live and one of you was going to die, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I could understand that if she was raped. Now, some people don't believe that, and I do. I get what some people say, like, because I deal with this with my family, because they're very devout Christians,
Right.
very devout, and they don't believe in abortion of any kind.
Well, right.
And I said, and I go, I understand that argument, but also you don't know, you can't really understand the woman's point of view, because that child is going to look like the attacker to some degree.
Yes.
And so you can't understand. The women that do, I have a lot of respect for. Right. That's a very big milestone to overcome. And I think they should try to do that to help them overcome. But if a woman can't deal with that, I can understand that. I would not hold that against them.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And why society? I'm not judging you for your opinion at all. I just want to sit there and ask you the younger, more innocent of the two. So the mother of your child's not innocent at all. She doesn't deserve to live on and maybe have the chance to try again for another child. That's all I'm asking. I'm not judging you. I'm just wondering where your head's at with that. And being that you're under 18, I can understand you still have that. You have a little bit more maturing to do within your life before fully understanding the situation. So again, I'm not judging you. I'm just asking and wondering where your head's at with that statement. That's all.
I do. It's way off topic.
Yes.
But do you realize that we are coming up? In fact, I think it's September. We're coming up on 6 months of all of us working together.
Really?
I think so. Because I remember, when did I came on right in March, I do believe, is when I started working with you guys, correct?
I believe so. It was just.
So I know the first pay-per-view I did with y'all was WrestleMania.
It was just before we found out I was pregnant.
No, wasn't I there for Elimination Chamber?
Yeah. I think so.
So yeah, we can you actually imagine we've actually been working together that long already?
Time flies when you're having fun and actually working with decent people. Imagine that.
Right.
What it is, the concept of the wrestling show that I do is, I mean, yes, I do live reactions. The concept is we sit around and we discuss what we're watching. We're friends that sit around and talk about the wrestling that we're watching on TV. It's the concept that I have. That's just me.
It works, though.
It works. Yeah. So.
It's pretty cool. Truck, what about you? Is there anything within... Because we haven't heard much from you tonight on my show anyway. Is there anything within the wrestling world or any political stance here that we've been speaking of that's been something that you wanted to rant about?
Just on Matt the Misfit that he was giving me shit too, and kid, come back and talk to me when your balls drop.
Well, his balls have dropped. He's over 18. It's just
Yeah.
he needs to learn that he doesn't know everything.
And he needs to stop treating our dear friend Connor as much as we love you over at OK Babe, and the wonderful Jake DeMarco, and of course, as always,
Joe
Cronin as demigods.
They're not.
They're human beings just like us who have their own opinions. Because that's exactly what their shows are about. Their opinions of shows that we watch along with them as well.
I've talked to Connor, and we pretty much are right along the same lines. There's a couple of things that we just differ on, but pretty much I agree with everything he's saying. I watched his show, what was that, last night?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with everything he said. In fact, he agrees with what I said last night. He kind of he thought about that. I in the chat, I'm like, I think that, and what I would do, and it's just in my observation and watching, I would have Randy Orton take the title off of AJ Styles. So, he's like, I thought about that. Not too deep, but now that you say that, it's not a bad idea. But I don't think he understands where I'm going with that storyline. In fact, no, yeah, he does, because I brought it up to him.
Yeah, I was going to say, you had an in-depth conversation with him about it.
So, it's not like... I don't know. Matt the Misfit, he's young and
Impressionable.
But he doesn't... Look, I'm going to tell everybody this that listens to me and watches me. You don't have to believe everything that I say.
Nope.
You don't have to... Don't consider me a demigod. Don't consider me this or that. I just watch and observe and I see. So what happened at NXT, I seen coming. Because you could tell what they were doing, and they've done it over and over. It's okay. Do I think NXT was better than SummerSlam? Yes, but not by a whole hell of a lot. SummerSlam was a surprisingly very well put together show.
Yes, it was.
Everybody got all fucking up in fucking arms because people were fucking saying the SummerSlam was a decent fucking show. Nobody's saying that NXT was, well, Johnny is. But,
Yeah, I was saying that SummerSlam was better than NXT.
yeah, but people get all up in arms that fucking NXT wasn't as good as SummerSlam. You know what? It probably was pretty much dead fucking even for me because SummerSlam or NXT TakeOver was really no different than SummerSlam, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, I'm going to go even one step further. After watching NXT tonight, SummerSlam was better than NXT.
And what I don't get is a lot of these people that sit there and do the ratings, the whatever out of 10, or the star ratings like Dave Meltzer. A lot of them sat there and still, even though they bitch, whined, and moaned about fucking SummerSlam, still rated it above average. They still gave it higher than a 5. Why are you fucking bitching if you're gonna rate it that fucking high? In the first place.
And again, if you're going to rate something and give it 5 stars out of 5 stars, what's going to happen when the show fucking bombs and only goes 4 stars? Are you going to still say it was a really good show? I would say it's fucking declining, in my opinion. Just saying. I don't know. I don't know what people think. I don't want that. I don't want people to think that I know everything because I don't know shit. I'm just observing and telling you what I'm seeing. I'll tell you, I try to predict the future. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna. You should see my predictions. Am I even close on any of my predictions ever? Because I'm going off of what WWE does in their formulaic mind, like the Asuka fucking Carmella thing. Carmella fucking every fucking week was going over Asuka. What does the formula normally tell you, Johnny? No.
Yeah, if the person gets over, especially if they get over on the go home show,
the person that
9 times out of 10 they're going to lose they're going to lose their match at the pay-per-view.
Exactly. So with that being said, that's why I think it was bullshit that WWE keeps swerving to swerve. They aren't telling a story. They think that swerving people is telling a story. No, swerving people is pissing people off. Because you're confusing the fucking shit out of people is what you're doing. That's all WWE's doing. They're not telling a fucking story. They're confusing people. They're trolling you because they think it's funny. And they're going to continue to do it. If you keep, especially with this, and there's one more point that I want to fucking make, and I made this point on Tuesday night's show.
Oh no.
The Becky Lynch thing. Now, what I heard, and Trek, what did you tweet today or DM today?
Trying to remember.
About the Becky and Charlotte thing? It was either today or yesterday.
Oh, that they're going to make Becky more of an anti-hero and they're not going to be faces or heels. There's just going to be people who have animosity with each other, basically.
If that's the way they're going to fix it, that's fine. But then again, do you really think it's going to work? If they're going to make Becky and Charlotte, essentially, Charlotte's going to be the heel and Becky's going to be the face. You ain't going to change that. So essentially, the fucking feud's fucking dead if they're going to do that. There's no way that's not the way to fix it. The way to fix it is have Becky come out and just completely shit on the fans. Where they come out there and they're cheering her and they're cheering her and they're cheering her and she says, knock it off, stop fucking cheering me, I don't like you people. I mean, she has literally shit on the fucking fans.
You know what? When you mentioned that, I kept racking my brain on how she could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've actually done this before. But the way they did it, because after, remember R-Truth's heel turn when he turned on John Morrison?
Okay, I don't remember it, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay. He was getting a little bit of heat, but not mega heat. Until one night he was up in the stands and he literally threw a fan's drink on him. Now, obviously the fan was a plant, but the audience didn't know that. And the guy that he threw the drink on had a kid with him.
Okay.
You do something like that, I guarantee you get heat on Becky.
Yeah, I mean you could, but are you gonna get the? Yeah, I could see it.
Although it could end up being something like with Stone Cold Steve Austin or like Ric Flair, as Bruce Pritchard was saying. He could kick a puppy all the way down to the ring. As soon as he got in the ring, people would be cheering him again.
Right, yeah.
It's so difficult with what they're doing. They fucked it up, and WWE's trying to fix it the best way that they know how, and it's just not going to work.
No.
I just don't see it working. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It's not. But the fans have got to understand that they can't, and I'm talking about me, I'm talking about Johnny, I'm talking about Heather, I'm talking about Trek, I'm talking about Bobby, I'm talking about Joe Cronin, I'm talking about fucking JD, I'm talking about Y Society, I'm talking about Ronnie Lee, I'm talking about all you guys. If we sit here and say, this is what I want, and WWE doesn't give it to us, you're going to be mad. And then that's the problem with WWE today. They have given the fans what they wanted with Daniel Bryan, and they're like, oh, we can get our way? Now, WWE is like, no, fuck you, we're not going to give you what you want. Just because we gave you Daniel Bryan doesn't mean we have to give you everything. They should have never given us Daniel Bryan in the first place.
Right.
And I hate to fucking say that. It was a very good moment. It got WWE a huge fucking pop. Not gonna lie to you. But look what it's doing to WWE today. I call it the Daniel Bryan effect.
Yeah.
As soon as the WWE gave us gave us Daniel Bryan, which is what the fans fucking wanted, now the fans think that they can get whatever the fuck they want, and if they don't get it, they're going to sit there bitch, piss, moan, and complain. My bitching, pissing, moaning, and complaining is coming from a different... I don't care what WWE gives us. I just wish they would give us better storylines.
Right.
That's all I'm asking for.
Something that actually makes fucking sense.
That's something WWE should give us. I don't care who they give us. They need to give us better storylines. They need to give us... Let these guys fucking wrestle. Don't give them fucking 5-minute fucking matches. Like really? You have buried Kevin Owens. Was that fucking promo that he cut in the middle of the ring on Monday, was that a shoot or was it a work? They did put him in the alumni section of the fucking WWE on the WWE website.
That very night.
But I'm telling you right now, do you think WWE is dumb enough to let Kevin Owens go? And people out there sitting there telling, tweeting him saying good riddance, you're not worth it anyway. You know who those people are? Those are the Roman Reigns fans.
Oh God.
There are tweets out there.
I'm not saying that it is, but I am speculating that there's a Roman Reigns fans that don't like Kevin Owens because he's more over than Roman Reigns is. And they know it. And can't fucking admit it.
I'm just wondering if we're actually going to go down that road again, because that was just horrible.
Well.
But I'm just making the point that... am I wrong in assuming that? I don't know.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I was just more joking.
No, but I'm asking that general question. I'm not... Fans have got to fucking stop.
No, you're right. They need to. I mean,
fans,
yep. I think I was the one that said the audience, the live audience is trying to do what the internet fans are doing.
Yes.
Yes.
And it doesn't translate well.
No.
Because let's face the fact, everybody wants to be a wrestling everybody that's a fan and wants to be that fucking wrestling podcaster or commentator.
It's like, I'll use football analogy. Everybody wants to be an armchair quarterback, sitting here saying, why are you throwing that football?
You should be running it.
You should be running it. Or, what are you doing in that situation? Armchair coach, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
No, you're not.
Right.
No, it's an armchair coach. I call it an armchair coach. But, like just now, I just seen one of my guys just threw a pick. Why did you throw that ball? I mean, I seen that coming from a mile away. He's been doing it all fucking night. He's throwing more completions to the fucking other team than he has his own guys. But
that's the Romo effect.
Yes.
Yes. And why society? I can answer that question because in this instance, with the whole storyline between Becky Lynch and Charlotte, and you have Kevin Owens, that is on the fans. That is on the fans. But when it's something like Brock Lesnar, that's on WWE.
Yes, that's on WWE.
So with the it depends on the situation of what's going on.
I'm more talking about... Well, I'll use Brock Lesnar as an example. No, I won't use Brock. Again, Daniel Bryan is a prime example. The fans want fucking Brock Lesnar to have, or Daniel Bryan to fucking be the man. They know more than give him the fucking title, and he gets hurt. Do you want to know why they had Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan? I'm starting to think why they had Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan. It wasn't to troll the fans. It wasn't to fucking piss the fans off. It's because Daniel Bryan cannot stay healthy.
Right.
If Daniel Bryan was healthy, would he have won the Royal Rumble? Probably.
More than likely.
That's what I was talking. That's what I was talking about on Monday or Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the fans wanted the style that Daniel Bryan had? They wanted more of that style. Well, and the reason why, as much as we don't like it, the people that are on the top are there for a reason.
Right. Why
It's because you don't ever see these guys get injured.
Right. Why society? You have to be a little more specific. What Becky Lynch thing?
I don't always see his tweets on my timeline, so I can't tell you.
I don't remember you tweeting me anything like that. You'll have to find that tweet or something, and I don't remember that. If it was some
While you're thinking about that, that's because Daniel Bryan was still extremely popular when he came back from injury, as they were starting the push for Roman Reigns. So as Johnny's mentioned several times, the interview with Paul Heyman said it was right guy, wrong time.
Yep. If it was after Daniel Bryan was gone, it would probably have been the right time, right guy.
Right.
But Roman Reigns is getting shit on because the WWE picked the guy that the WWE didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
You look, and I'm gonna fucking say this now. I don't care what anybody fucking says to me. I don't think Daniel Bryan's ever gonna get another shot at the world title.
No.
I think they're going to stick with him being mid-card.
I know. They're going to have him chasing the title, and he's never going to fucking win it. Because he can't... They're afraid he's not going to be able to stay healthy. WWE's going to tease you and tease you and tease you and tease you. They're going to do the Roman Reigns thing. They're going to tease you and tease you and tease you, and they're not going to give it to you. I'm just that's my fear. Do I want Daniel? I like Daniel Bryan. I think he's a really good wrestler. But he can't, again, I keep saying that, he can't stay healthy. Like Johnny said, Jeff Hardy, he couldn't stay fucking healthy. Well, he couldn't stay off fucking drugs either. But he can't stay healthy. He's hurt now.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, they don't know if he can stay healthy. They're trying to take it easy with him. How often do you see him take fucking headshots?
Not very often.
And do you see what I'm saying? I mean, they're with that feud with
The Miz?
Big Cass? No. A couple of times he took it, but it was a safety boot. It wasn't one of those big time boots. When they did the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn thing, the very first time, he took a pretty good headshot there, and he came out fine. But what's not to say that he doesn't have legit concussions, and
because you people have to remember, with every concussion, it ends up leaving a lesion on the brain, or some kind of mark on the brain, to eventually to the point that with another concussion he can end up a vegetable.
Right.
You see it all the time with football players.
Yep.
Exactly.
Why society? Don't be surprised if they have The Miz beat Daniel Bryan. It's going to take a while for. I don't know if Daniel Bryan will ever get over on The Miz.
And who's to say with that match it's not Brie pinning Maurice?
And I got a feeling that they're gonna go with The Miz beating Daniel Bryan again.
Either that, or they could sit there and push it to make it be the women go over in that match because of Evolution.
Well, there has been talks that for here pretty soon that's exactly what's going to happen, is that in the lead up to Evolution, that the women are going to be the ones that are on the forefront.
Right.
In the shows, and that the men will be taking the back seat.
Yeah.
And what I'm worried about is,
can the women handle it?
Can they handle it? And that's not saying it's not because, I'm not saying can they handle it because of them being women. It's because most of the women's matches don't last more than, what, 10 minutes tops?
10, 15 minutes. I mean, how long did the Becky or the Charlotte and Asuka match last? Was that like 15 minutes?
Yes.
10 or 15.
But I will say that's more than 2 or 3 minutes that they were getting back in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era.
Right.
However, it also comes down to the point of you're using your current roster to forefront the show and carry the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then why are you bringing in Lita? Why are you bringing in Trish? Why are you bringing in Kelly, Michelle, Team LeCool? You have these talented women right in front of you right now. Why the fuck do you need them?
Well, WWE's even already fucking up with the Evolution thing, because guess where they're going to be 5 days after Evolution?
Where?
They're going back to Saudi Arabia.
That explains why Evolution is happening when it is, actually. Because no women are going to be allowed to go, so give them an all-women's pay-per-view so that they get paid for an event and actually get TV time.
Yeah. Well, these events in Saudi Arabia are not going to be televised.
Even so.
These are live shows that are going to be done in Saudi Arabia.
I disagree. We'll see why society. I don't want. Actually, you want me to be honest with you? I don't want Daniel Bryan anywhere near the fucking title. Ever.
Because he's another one who's getting up there in age anyway.
Who is that?
Daniel Bryan.
To be honest with you, he's another one of those guys that I'm gonna be straight up honest with you is holding back fucking newer talent.
Because of the fans wanting him out there.
Again, the WWE fans are getting what they want, but yet they don't have Ty Dillinger on the show. Well, I wonder why. Because Daniel Bryan's taking up a fucking segment.
Well, that and WWE doesn't like the 10 chant.
Then why did they make it a fucking gimmick?
I have no idea, but apparently that's one of the reasons why they took him off.
So then repackage him and put him back on TV.
As what, Bill? They're gonna do
You could do the corporate spin. You could do the corporate spin with him. I'm sorry.
They could, but they won't. WWE fans are going to sit there and go 10, 10, 10, no matter what, just because they fucking think they're right and WWE is wrong. Not bullshit.
And it's just like with that whole thing in NXT when they sit there and say this match is scheduled for one fall. And then the audience goes, one fall. They're going to do it whether the announcer's speaking over them or not. They're not going to fucking care. Fans are going to do what fans are going to do.
Yeah.
Which also brings up the point again. Fans are going to do what they want to do, so smarten the fuck up with Becky Lynch and actually do what WWE wants you to do in the first place. And I don't watch Total Divas. I've seen a few clips of it from here and there. One of the clips I saw was from when Natalya first turned heel. She was fucking scared to death when the fans did not start booing her right away. Because she thought she was going to end up getting fired for it.
Who?
Natalia.
For when? I'm sorry.
When she turned heel on SmackDown.
Oh.
She was scared to death when she was not getting the boost because she thought she was going to get fired. So now these fans are doing it to Becky Lynch. She may not be saying anything, but I guarantee you, she's wondering what the fuck they're going to do with her career now.
They may just not push her. I said it a while ago, and I said it in a tweet, and I can't remember who I tweeted it to. Oh, Becky Lynch fans. I said, I hope you all nimwits know that she is the heel in this story, and it's this whole they're telling Becky, they're adding Becky, saying you should be blaming WWE, not Charlotte. Well, okay.
Or Charlotte should be the fan because this thing is just horribly miscast.
So this is the problem with WWE fans. I understand their thinking. I get it. You want Becky Lynch to win the title. And I said if you continue to fucking cheer for her, they may say, you know what, this isn't working. We're going to start all fucking over again. And we're going to try to push her as a face, and it's not going to fucking work. Because her as a face is boring.
Yeah, because whether people want to admit it or not, SummerSlam was their reset.
You're
right. And it usually is for the midpoint of the year every year.
Right. But, well, what I mean is, you know, we really didn't get that reset at WrestleMania. So this has really been their first reset.
Right. And they should have reset after WrestleMania.
Alright, now I'm going to give you guys my take on this whole thing with the Becky Lynch Charlotte thing. Everybody's sitting there saying Charlotte should be the heel. Charlotte should be the heel because she's like the Roman Reigns. She's Roman Reigns. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Alright, people. Buckle up because you're going to go on a little story adventure with the person who is an actual published author with a storybook.
Oh, Christ.
Now.
Good God, here we go.
Imagine this. You are an author trying to write a story. A fictional story. You have a person who just came back from an injury, and is handed a title shot. Then, handed a chance at a title shot. She wins that chance and goes on to face her best friend and some dumb bimbo for the title. At the end of that, she ends up winning this title, screwing over said best friend yet again. Now, as a storyteller, who should be more pissed off and therefore a heel in that situation? The best friend who got screwed over. Not the one who just got back from getting a new boob.
Well, that's what they did.
A leaky boob at that.
Yes. But again, if you look at this from the angle of being a fucking storyteller, which is what the writers are, they're storytellers. And it's what these wrestlers are. They are portraying the story that is written for them. Becky Lynch is the one that deserves to be angry, deserves to be a heel, and deserves to get the boos in this situation. Having Charlotte Flair become a heel, yet the fuck again, is just going to be stale and boring. Because we've seen it a million fucking times already. But yet you want to bitch, moan, and complain about seeing things repeatedly. But yet Charlotte needs to be the heel in the situation. Again. Do you people not have any imagination left?
Well, these guys might, but...
No, I'm just talking about these people. I tweeted this out to OK Babe's page. And he agrees. Connor fucking agrees with it. That's the whole problem, though, Doug. When it comes right down to it, there are some out there who are natural talkers. But then you have the other people who cannot fucking speak to save their lives. So they need the script. I'm just reading what. Charlotte should never have turned face? Really? You would have kept her as a heel for the past, 2 years? I'm just saying.
The reason that they turned Charlotte face is because she's publicity for the WWE. She's a fucking Flair.
Exactly.
WWE, I think I said this on Tuesday or Monday, I can't remember. WWE, I'll read you what you sent me. I probably said that wrong, and what I probably meant to say is kind of along the lines of what I've been saying. She's money to the WWE. She's publicity for the WWE. So they've got her as the face because they want her to be the face of Evolution. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why Charlotte is the face, or they're trying to turn Charlotte, or why Charlotte is the face. They want her to be the face of the company. The WWE has a philosophy now that the face of the company needs to be a face.
Yes.
They've been doing that since John Cena won the title. That's what they're doing. Now, I'm going to read, I'm sick of these fans. This is a tweet in Y Society, I'm going to read this. I'm sick of the fans saying this Becky Lynch heel turn will fail. That no one wants to boo her. So it is a bad idea. And that being said, what they're trying to do, it's not a bad idea. They have the right idea. It's, again, now, I'm gonna read to you what I responded with, and probably what I said probably didn't sink in. But first of all, the fans are the real problem here, and then that's right, because they need to be playing along for once. Second, everyone wanted something different, and they gave it to you. Now, this is what I said. The fans are entitled to their opinion. I don't think fans are the problem. WWE is the problem. If WWE is the problem, I think I should not have said that the fans are not the problem. The fans are the problem. So I'm wrong there. I will say that. The WWE, and this is why I said what I said. The WWE will always say, we will listen to the WWE universe and use that as a cover blanket statement, and then not listen to them. The fans feel neglected. The WWE should have never said that. They should have never said we listen to the WWE universe. So, yes, I'm going to say it's on both. Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will amend my statement, Y Society. Thank you for sending me that. I don't remember saying that because I don't remember saying shit 15 minutes ago.
Actually, Doug Ford, you should definitely sit there and check out wow. Pritchard's podcast with Conrad over there.
Conrad Thompson on MLW. It's on YouTube, man.
Something to wrestle with, because according to him, a lot of Ric Flair's career, he was actually a face.
Yeah, he was. Believe it or not, Ric Flair was more of a face than he was a heel.
Yeah, and there were a lot of times where he was a tweener, and yes, he was a heel, so to speak. But again, as Pritchard had said, he could kick a puppy all the way down to the fucking ring, but once he got in the ring, he was cheered.
Go watch Starrcade 1983. Go watch after the NWO thing.
Yes.
When the NWO thing happened. Some of his best moments were when he was a face. Like I said, go watch fucking Starrcade 1983. Even though the match was shit, how fucking over Ric Flair was. I mean, yes, Ric Flair, I'll put it to you like this, Doug Ford. Ric Flair is good as a heel and a face. Equally. He could play it right down the middle. He was an anti-hero He was Stone Cold Steve Austin before Stone Cold Steve Austin was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I will say that right now. He was The Rock before The Rock was The Rock. If that makes any sense to anybody. We talked about The Rock on my channel just a little bit ago. And he was really good as a face. So I wouldn't so much say that his best moments were when he was a heel. Was he a heel?
And that's why I say go and listen to Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson over there with fucking something to wrestle with, or even Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson with 83 Weeks. Both of them. Go and see the behind the stage look of things and get your perspective from there.
But that's your opinion, man. I'm not going to shit on your opinion. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we never shit on people's opinions.
I do. I do it all the fucking time. I'm an asshole.
Most of the time, it's Roman Reigns fans, though.
That's true.
But when it comes down to it, we love hearing opinions because, especially with, it's why Johnny, Trek, Bobbitt, and I and him all work so well together. We have different opinions, but we don't sit there and cut each other's throats over it. We actually civilly debate about it.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But, you know, that's all we ever try to do with people, is try to start a conversation based on opinions.
Yep.
Which is coming right back to the title of today's show. Wrestling opinions and how they're perceived. So,
Ronnie, you just answered the question. His ex-wife thinks he's a heel. Ric Flair was a prick, but his character, I really wouldn't call him a heel. He was just that guy that.
His personality outside of the ring was womanizer. I mean, there's no way around
his personality inside the ring was womanizer too. He could play both sides of the fence. I'm not going to sit here and debate the Ric Flair thing. You can go either way. Some of his best work was when he was a face. Some of his best work was when he was a heel. So he's good. He's good for me on either end. Ric Flair was.
Oh, he still is Doug Bird. He is still extremely arrogant. It's just with the sickness that he had, he is slightly more humbled. But again, when it comes down to wrestling opinions and the fact that this is something that most of us are so passionate about, because it's our childhood. We grew up with this, most of us.
The problem that I have with opinions is when you state your opinion, and then somebody comes back and says you're wrong, then it's not an opinion to them. To them, they're just disagreeing with you because they don't like what you're saying. And that's where we went off on our political
tangent.
I was trying to make a point that Heather had said something about wrestling, and I said, you can apply that to fucking anything. And I could sit here and tell you that the grass is green, or somebody could say that the grass is green, but in reality, the grass really is not green. It appears to be green because of the photosynthesis. It's a scientific fact.
Fuck that, it's yellow.
It can be. Sometimes it can. It depends on how much photosynthesis is in there. It's that stuff that the fucking plant, that the grass eats.
Or in Texas's case, it's usually just brown.
I was going to say, it depends on the drought, too.
That means it's dead. But, so, you see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I take opinions. I take everybody's opinions. I just don't think that wrestling fans have got, especially those that are a certain fan of a certain wrestler, need to take into account that not everybody is a fan of him. And people are going to disagree with them. And if they don't fucking like it, then they can fuck off.
Well, and here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't, and even wrestling podcasters are afraid to admit, is that at the end of the day, you can't have an opinion about wrestling without having some form of bias.
Well, that's why it's an opinion, because it's based off of your own emotional thoughts of the situation.
Right. Well, and that's what I mean, is that, you know, people want to look at, with more merch than anybody else. Well, who cares?
Yeah,
That's not going to change. That's not going to change how I feel, just because this person might have more merch, which is not the case anyway.
Right.
And he doesn't have as many followers as some other people.
Exactly.
Doug
jab,
Ford,
jab, jab.
Yep, I'm about ready to go for the fucking knockout. So that being said, he's not as over as fucking Sheamus. So anyway, La Parka. He's a good wrestler. I wouldn't call him one of the greats. I mean, he was there. He was decent. No, Adam Cole sucks. No, I'm just kidding. The best thing going in WWE right now is Adam Cole.
And Ricochet.
And Ricochet. I will say that right now. Those two, that match that they had today, that I watched today, was actually pretty good.
The match they had at TakeOver Brooklyn was phenomenal. It was the highlight of TakeOver Brooklyn.
Well, for me, the women's match was actually the highlight. But that's neither here nor there.
And again, it's your opinion. And again, right back to when somebody has an opinion on a show and you sit there and you have your own opinion to debate back at them, don't hold back. Don't. Because that's when you learn exactly the kind of person you're up against. When they sit there and tell you, no, you're wrong, you know nothing, you know they're an immature asshole, and just block.
Yeah, you block somebody, that's fucking just immature. I know I did it, but there was a reason why I did it.
Well, he was a troll anyway, so.
Well, no, not that person wasn't a troll.
I consider him one. But...
And there's nothing wrong with that, Doug Ford. There's nothing wrong with liking the underdog. But my question was, Daniel Bryan really the underdog?
In a way, he kind of made himself the underdog because of how many times he kept getting injured and taken out of the picture.
Yeah, I know. But that was a great discussion tonight. I liked it. Heather, thanks for letting me be on your show.
You're welcome. Kind of have an itch.
I'm the one that pays for the fucking internet. I couldn't be on the fucking show.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to battle off my nonsense.
Well, that's the whole thing. No, anybody that comes on this show, unless it's something that's just pure garbage, never ever spattles off nonsense.
And if are you going back to this format for good now?
I believe so, yes.
She usually does take phone calls too, guys. So
yeah.
Don't be afraid to call in. And I'm gonna start taking phone calls now because now we're in our own place. So. But don't come at me and just sit on
the call and say absolutely nothing. Yeah. Wikipedia. Sorry about that.
Oh wow.
Ouch. No, you have plenty to say tonight.
Maybe we'll do like a fucking trivia or something on a fucking show, especially fucking Raw if it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
We'll do like a trivia thing.
I thank you very much, D. Wells. Yeah, whatever.
So that being said, What are you doing there? You just gonna sit there and fucking read the chat, or are you gonna fucking say
How about you
something?
shut up so I can actually talk?
I'm gonna throw you outside.
Damn! Or, wait. We gotta do it right. We're gonna. Damn!
And no problem, my society. It definitely. That's what the format of this show was. It was always supposed to be either about somebody's job or something political or something that happened on social media or anything like that they wanted to rage about. I mean, I would always start off the show with that. There's definitely plenty of things to go back and watch with the original Raging Inc. here on this channel to go check out. One episode I do suggest is the Pear Bomb episode.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, that was a glorious one. That was the one
yeah.
that really saw me pissed off for the first time.
Yeah, also, well, Hair Bomb too. And
That one too.
Horseface was there.
Yes. Those episodes are definitely ones to go check out. Rick Martel.
What's my opinion on Rick Martel? Good God. I liked him. I'm trying to... He wasn't underutilized. He was appreciated.
It's a good way to go about it, yeah.
He was more than a mid-carder to me. He reminded me of Macho Man Randy Savage, just not as good on the mic.
Right.
He was supposed to get a really big push and then he got hurt. So.
And with that being said, we are almost at the 2-hour mark here, folks, and I don't think there's much more to discuss on this topic. So,
Good talk, everybody. Good talk.
yeah, something in the chat derailed me there for a second, but I'm going to end the show here. We will be bringing back episode 29 next week, and we shall see what that topic shall start off as and go into. Thank you to everybody who's been here tonight.
Did you want to tell them that what's going on tomorrow? Just saying. Fucking shit. I'm gonna go to bed. Fuck this. Good night.
Thank you, Danarex.
Just kidding.
Not a problem, Doug Ford. I actually started the show a little late myself tonight because we had to start Wrestling Memories a little late because Trek was running late.
Trek was doing something. I don't know what the fuck it was. I'm just kidding.
And tomorrow, definitely check us out on Foulmouth Bobbitt's channel for This Week in Wrestling, where he is also not only going to be revealing what has been revealed already of the 2K19 WWE game roster, but also any news that has been found out for the week. And he's going to have JP, I'm going to be there, and I believe Trek is going to be there as well.
Johnny, you going to be there?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
So there we go.
We'll talk. If you can't, just DM me.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Alright.
So definitely come check us out tomorrow. It'll be about 6:30 Central Time. And y'all have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And we'll know the gender of the baby tomorrow. That's what I was trying to get at with her. Jesus Christ.
Yes, tomorrow we go for the ultrasound to find out if it's a boy or a girl for sure. Tomorrow.
Yay!
I can't fucking... I try and lead her... Trexter, I'm trying to lead you into something here. I'm just kidding.
And who's to say I wasn't going to try and surprise them tomorrow?
Who cares?
Have a good night, everybody.